The choices we make with our possession can have a surprising impact on our financial well-being. Today, we're diving deep in 7 seemingly innocent items that could be draining your wallet without you even realizing. Holding on to these past their prime isn't just about cluttering your space, it's about protecting your financial future. Let's start with something that's probably sitting in your medicine cabinet right now: expired medication. Here's the shocking truth: keeping medications beyond date isn't just dangerous for your health, it's a silent money pit. Think about it. When these medications lose their potency, you might find yourself buying additional doses to achieve the same effect, essentially paying twice for the same treatment. But it gets worse. If you experience adverse effects from degraded medication, you could face unexpected medical bills that could have been easily avoided. The real cost isn't just in the medicine itself, it's in the potential lost workdays, emergency room visit, and the cascading effect on your insurance premium. Studies show that the average American household wastes nearly $300 annually on unused or expired medication. That's money literally gathering dust in your cabinet. Instead of keeping these expired medication, mark date on your calendar as your medication audit day. Contact your local pharmacy about their medication take-back program. Many offer discount vouchers for future purchase when you participate in responsible disposal. Moving into your kitchen, let's talk about those old appliances you've been hanging on to since your college days. You know the ones: that power-hungry refrigerator from the 90s, the microwave that takes forever to heat anything, the toaster that only works if you press down the lever 3 times. After date, these energy vampires aren't just annoying, they're actively stealing money from your bank account. Consider this: an old refrigerator manufactured before 2000 can consume up to 3 times more electricity than its modern counterpart. If you're keeping one of these energy guzzlers after date, you're essentially throwing away $300–500 annually in unnecessary power consumption. But the true cost goes beyond your electric. These outdated appliances are more likely to malfunction, potentially causing electrical issues or even fires. The insurance implications alone should make you think twice about keeping. The solution isn't just about unplugging these old appliances, it's about making smart replacements. Many utility companies offer rebate programs for upgrading to energy-efficient model. Time your purchases around major sales events after date, and you could save up to 40% on new, energy-efficient appliances. The initial investment might seem steep, but the monthly savings on your utility bills will quickly offset the cost. Now, let's venture into your closet and talk about those someday clothes, the ones you're keeping because you might fit into them again, or because they might come back in style. If they've been hanging there untouched past date, they're not just taking up space, they're costing you money in ways you might not realize. The psychology of keeping clothes that don't fit or aren't in style creates a subtle but persistent financial drain. Every time you open your closet and see these items, you're reminded of past purchases that didn't work out, which can lead to poor future buying. Research shows that people with cluttered closets are 23% more likely to make impulse clothing purchases, trying to feel better about their wardrobe. But there's a bigger financial impact here. The space these clothes occupy could be used more efficiently. That extra rod of unworn clothes could be preventing you from properly organizing your current wardrobe, leading to wrinkled clothes, faster wear and tear, and the need for more frequent replacement. After date, consider this: every square foot of closet space dedicated to unworn clothes represents about $50 in unused real estate value in the average home. The solution isn't just about decluttering, it's about monetizing. Those designer pieces you're holding on to could be sold on consignment platform, potentially funding your next wardrobe update. Even non-designer items can find new home through various resale apps, putting money back in your pocket instead of taking up valuable space. Let's talk about something that might hit close to home for many: old electronics and their accompanying accessories. Those drawers full of outdated chargers, ancient phones, and mysterious cables you're keeping just in case after date are more than just clutter. They're a testament to poor financial planning. The tech industry thrives on planned obsolescence, but many of us fight against this by hoarding old devices. The problem? These items depreciate rapidly, losing up to 70% of their resale value every year they sit unused. That iPhone 6 you're keeping as a backup, after date, it might be worth less than the space it's taking up in your drawer. But the real cost comes from the false sense of security these old electronics provide. Keeping outdated devices often prevents us from making strategic upgrades when they make financial sense. Instead of trading in or selling devices when they still hold value, we wait until they're practically worthless. This pattern can cost the average household over $1,000 in lost resale value every few years. Here's what makes it particularly insidious. The psychological comfort of having backup device often leads to skipping insurance on our primary device, which can result in much larger unexpected expenses when accidents happen. After date, consider this your wake-up call to audit your electronics drawer. Speaking of psychological comfort, let's address those old financial documents and receipts you've been hoarding. While it's important to keep some records, hanging on to every bank statement and grocery receipt past date isn't just unnecessary, it's potentially dangerous and financially draining. The obvious cost here is in storage solutions. Those filing cabinets and storage boxes aren't free, but the real danger lies in identity theft risk. The longer you keep physical financial document, the greater the chance they could be compromised. A single identity theft incident can cost upwards of $1,500 to resolve, not counting the hundreds of hours spent fixing the damage. What many don't realize is that keeping excessive financial records can actually make it harder to spot fraudulent activity. When you're sorting through years of unnecessary paperwork, it's easier to miss important current statements or unusual charges that require immediate attention. After date, implement a strict document retention policy. Most experts agree that you only need to keep tax records for 7 years, while most other financial documents can be shredded after 1 year. Moving into your garage or storage space, let's talk about those partially used home improvement material you're keeping from your last DIY project. Those half-empty paint cans, spare tile, and lumber scraps you're saving after date aren't just taking up space, they're slowly draining your wealth through hidden costs. The first hidden cost is storage. Whether you're paying for a storage unit or just using garage space, there's a real estate cost to keeping these materials. In many urban areas, garage space is worth $10 to $15 per square foot annually. That means a few square feet of leftover materials could be costing you hundreds in unusable space. But the bigger issue is how these stored materials influence your future project decision. When you have leftover material, you're more likely to try to incorporate them into future projects, even when they're not the best choice. This can lead to compromised results and the need for future repairs or renovation. After date, that pile of mismatched materials isn't saving you money. It's likely costing you in both space and future project efficiency. Finally, let's address something that might surprise you: old gift cards and store credit. These small pieces of plastic sitting in your wallet or drawer after date represent one of the most overlooked forms of wealth leakage in modern households. The statistics are staggering. Approximately $3 billion in gift cards go unused every year. But the real cost isn't just in the unused value, it's in the expired promotion, missed opportunity, and the psychological burden of keeping track of multiple cards and their balance. After date, each gift card you're holding represents not just its face value, but also the lost opportunity of what that money could have been doing for you. Many people don't realize that gift cards can lose value through inactivity, or that store credits might have expiration date. Even worse, holding onto gift cards for too long increases the risk of the retailer going bankrupt, potentially rendering the cards worthless. The pandemic showed us just how quickly major retailers can disappear, taking gift card value with them. The solution isn't just about using your gift cards, it's about developing a system to track and maximize their value. After date, consider using gift card exchange platforms to convert unwanted cards into cash or cards you'll actually use. Many of these platforms offer 80–90% of the card's value, which is far better than letting them expire unused. These 7 items might seem unrelated at first glance, but they share a common thread. They represent the small, often overlooked decision that can gradually impact our financial health. The key isn't just in identifying these items, it's in understanding how they influence our broader financial behaviors and decision-making patterns. Think about how these items interact with each other. Those old electronics might be sitting in storage containers you're paying for, while expired medication might be taking up space in premium bathroom real estate. The old clothes might be preventing you from properly organizing your current wardrobe, leading to poor purchasing decisions, while those gift cards represent locked-up capital that could be working for you in better ways. The financial impact of keeping these items past date goes beyond their direct cost. It's about the cumulative effect of maintaining these small inefficiencies in our lives. Each item represents a small drain on our resources, attention, and decision-making capacity. When combined, they create a perfect storm of financial inefficiency that can keep us from reaching our financial goal. But there's good news in all of this. Each of these items represents an opportunity for positive change. By addressing these issues after date, you're not just clearing physical space, you're creating mental and financial space for better opportunities and decision. The key is to approach these changes systematically, addressing each category with intention and purpose. Remember, poverty isn't always about large financial stake. Often, it's the accumulation of small, seemingly insignificant decisions that can lead to financial strain. By being mindful of these 7 items and taking action after date, you're not just organizing your space, you're protecting your financial future. Think of this as a financial fresh start. Each item you properly dispose of or monetize after date represents a step toward better financial habits. The key is to replace these old patterns with new, more financially sound practices. Instead of holding on to old electronics, develop a strategy for timely upgrades. Rather than hoarding expired medication, create a system for tracking expiration dates and proper disposal. The impact of these changes extends beyond your immediate financial situation. When you clear these items from your life after date, you're also clearing mental space and reducing decision fatigue. This mental clarity can lead to better financial decisions in other areas of your life, creating a positive cycle of financial improvement. Consider how these changes might affect your daily routine and habits. When your space is clear of expired medication, you're more likely to stay on top of your health needs. When your closet isn't cluttered with old clothes, you're more likely to make thoughtful purchase decisions. When your financial documents are properly organized, you're better positioned to spot opportunity and avoid pitfalls. Let's explore how these changes ripple through different aspects of your financial life. Take those old appliances, for instance. When you're finally free of that energy-draining refrigerator after date, you're not just saving on electricity, you're potentially increasing your home's value. Modern, energy-efficient appliances are increasingly becoming a selling point in real estate, with some studies suggesting they can increase home values by up to 3 to 5%. The psychology behind holding on to these items often stems from a scarcity mindset, the fear that we might need them someday, or that we're losing value by letting them go. But after date, this mindset itself becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. By cluttering our spaces with items past their prime, we're actually creating the very scarcity we're trying to avoid, both in terms of space and financial resources. Consider the impact on your professional life. When your home is cluttered with expired items and outdated electronics, this disorder can subtly affect your work performance. Studies show that people working in cluttered environments experience higher levels of stress and decreased productivity. After date, imagine the mental clarity and focus you'll gain when these distractions are removed. The financial benefits extend into unexpected areas. Take insurance, for example. Many people don't realize that keeping old, potentially hazardous items past date could affect their insurance premium or even void certain coverage. Insurance companies are increasingly looking at home maintenance and organization when determining rates. A house full of expired medication, old electronic, and outdated appliances might be seen as a higher risk. There's also the aspect of emergency preparedness to consider. When your space is cluttered with these 7 items past date, it becomes harder to respond effectively to unexpected situations. In case of a sudden move, natural disaster, or financial emergency, the time and resources needed to deal with these items could make a challenging situation even worse. Think about the opportunity cost of the space these items occupy. In urban areas, living space can cost anywhere from $2 to $5 per square foot per month. If these 7 categories of items are taking up even just 50 square feet of your living space after date, that's potentially hundreds of dollars in wasted space every month. This space could be used more productive or even converted into a home office or rental space. The impact on your credit score might not be immediately obvious, but it's real. When you're holding onto old financial documents and gift cards, you're more likely to miss important bills or payment opportunities. After date, a clean, organized financial space makes it easier to maintain good credit habits, potentially saving thousands in interest rates over time. These items can also affect your relationships and social life. When your space is cluttered with outdated items after date, you might be less likely to entertain guests or host family gatherings. This social isolation can lead to missed networking opportunities and reduced social capital, both of which can have real financial implications. The environmental impact of holding onto these items past date shouldn't be overlooked either. Many of these items, particularly electronics and appliances, become less energy efficient over time. The increased carbon footprint comes with a financial cost as more cities and states implement carbon pricing and environmental regulation. Consider the generational impact of these habits. Children who grow up in homes where expired items are regularly kept past date often inherit these same financial behaviors. Breaking this cycle isn't just about current finance, it's about setting up the next generation for financial success. The digital aspect of this clutter is increasingly important. Those old electronics you're keeping past date often contain outdated personal information. In an age of increasing cyber threats, this represents a significant financial risk. The cost of identity theft or data breach can far exceed any perceived value in keeping these devices. Time management experts suggest that dealing with clutter and disorganization can consume up to 1 hour of each day. After date, imagine reclaiming this time for more productive activity, whether that's developing new skills, starting a side business, or simply spending more time with family. At average wage rates, this recovered time could be worth thousands of dollars annually. The connection between physical clutter and financial clutter becomes more apparent after date. When we hold on to physical items past their usefulness, we often do the same with financial products, keeping old credit cards, unused subscription, or inefficient investment. Breaking free from one often helps address the other. There's also a seasonal aspect to consider. Different times of the year present unique opportunities to address these items. After date, seasonal changes can serve as natural reminders to audit and update your possessions. Spring cleaning becomes more than just a tradition, it's a financial reset opportunity. The role of technology in managing these items is evolving rapidly. After date, new apps and tools make it easier than ever to track expiration dates, manage warranty, and organize financial documents digitally. Investing in these solutions can prevent the accumulation of physical clutter while improving financial organization. Consider how these changes align with broader financial goals. After date, the money saved from efficient management of these 7 categories could be redirected into retirement accounts, emergency fund, or investment opportunities. Even small monthly saving, when properly invested, can grow significantly over time. The concept of financial minimalism comes into play here. After date, each item you keep should serve a clear purpose or bring definite value. This philosophy, when applied to these 7 categories, can lead to better financial decisions across all areas of life. Think about the professional opportunities that come from better organization. After date, a clutter-free space often translates to a clutter-free mind, potentially leading to better job performance, more successful interview, or more profitable business venture. The financial implications extend to your daily routine and habit. Consider your morning routine. When you're not sorting through expired products or dealing with inefficient appliances after date, you're starting your day with clarity and purpose. This mental clarity often translates into better financial decision-making throughout the day. Healthcare costs are another crucial factor to consider. Those expired medication and old health-related items you're keeping past date aren't just ineffective, they could be costing you in terms of health insurance premium. Insurance companies are increasingly looking at preventative care and health maintenance habits when determining rate. The connection to your credit utilization becomes clearer after date. When you're holding on to old gift cards and store credit, you're more likely to make impulse purchases to use them up, potentially affecting your credit utilization ratio. This can have a subtle but significant impact on your credit score over time. Consider the role of digital alternatives after date. Many of the physical items you're holding onto may have digital counterparts that are more efficient and cost-effective. From digital receipts to cloud storage for important documents, these alternatives can reduce both physical clutter and financial waste. The impact on your property value deserves closer examination. Real estate experts note that homes with efficient storage solutions and organized spaces typically sell faster and for higher prices. After date, the absence of these 7 clutter categories could make your property more attractive to potential buyers or renters. Think about the psychological burden of decision fatigue. Each item kept past date requires mental energy to manage, track, and decide about. This cognitive load can affect your ability to make sound financial decisions in other areas of your life, creating a cascade of poor choices. The connection to career advance is worth noting. After date, the organizational skills developed from managing these items effectively can translate into valuable workplace competence. Employers often view strong personal organization as an indicator of professional capability. Consider the impact on your emergency preparedness. After date, a well-organized space makes it easier to respond to unexpected financial challenges or opportunity, whether it's quickly locating important documents or being able to quickly liquidate assets if needed. Organization becomes a form of financial insurance. The role of social networks in financial health becomes more apparent after date. When your space is organized and clutter-free, you're more likely to maintain strong social connections, which often serve as valuable resources during financial challenges or opportunities. Think about the impact on your purchasing habit. After date, when you're not surrounded by expired or outdated items, you're more likely to make thoughtful, intentional purchases rather than reactive buying. This mindful consumption can lead to significant savings over time. The connection to financial literacy deserves attention. After date, the process of managing 7 categories can serve as practical lessons in value assessment, depreciation, and resource management. These skills often translate into better overall financial making. Consider the role of seasonal financial planning. After date, regular audits of these 7 categories can align with other financial activities like tax preparation, insurance renewal, and investment rebalance. This coordination can lead to more efficient financial management. The impact on family dynamics is significant. After date, teaching children about proper resource management and organization through example can help them develop stronger financial habits early in life. This generational impact can break cycles of poverty and financial struggle. Think about the role of community resources. After date, proper disposal or donation of these items can connect you with community organizations that might offer additional financial resources or opportunities. These connections can become valuable networks for financial growth. The relationship between physical space and financial space becomes clearer after date. When your living area isn't cluttered with these 7 categories of items, you're more likely to have the mental space needed for financial planning and goal setting. Consider the impact on your ability to adapt to change. After date, an organized and efficient living space makes it easier to respond to new opportunities or challenges. This adaptability can be a crucial factor in maintaining financial stability. The role of technology in preventing future accumulation becomes more important after date. Smart home devices and organization apps can help track expiration dates, monitor energy use, and manage financial documents more effectively. Think about the connection to sustainable living. After date, proper management of these 7 categories often aligns with eco-friendly practice, which can lead to both environmental and financial benefits through reduced waste and energy consumption. The impact on your financial resilience is worth noting. After date, having an organized and efficient living space can help you bounce back more quickly from financial setbacks. This resilience becomes a form of financial security in itself. Consider the role of financial automation after date. When your physical space is well organized, it becomes easier to implement and maintain automated financial systems for bills, saving, and investment. This automation can prevent costly oversights and late fees. The connection to wealth-building strategy becomes more apparent after date. When you're not weighed down by these 7 categories of items, you can focus more energy on active income generation and investment opportunities. This shift in focus can be transformative for your financial future. Consider how proper organization affects your ability to take advantage of time-sensitive financial opportunities. After date, when you're not sorting through expired items or dealing with cluttered spaces, you can respond more quickly to investment opportunity, limited time offers, or emergency situations that require immediate financial decision. The impact on your credit report might be subtle but significant. After date, proper organization of financial documents makes it easier to spot and dispute errors on your credit report promptly. Given that an estimated 20% of credit reports contain errors, this vigilance can protect your borrowing power and save thousands in interest charges. Think about the relationship between physical organization and debt management. After date, when you have a clear system for managing these 7 categories, you're more likely to maintain an organized approach to debt repayment. This systematic approach often leads to faster debt reduction and lower interest payment. The role of digital security becomes increasingly important after date. When you're not holding on to old electronic and outdated financial documents, you reduce your exposure to identity theft and fraud. The financial impact of a security breach can be devastating, making prevention through proper organization crucial. Consider the connection to professional networking. After date, a well-organized living space often translates to better personal presentation and increased confidence in professional settings. This can lead to better job opportunities and higher earning potential. The impact on your insurance costs extends beyond home insurance. After date, proper organization and maintenance of these 7 categories can affect various insurance premiums, from renter's insurance to life insurance. Insurance companies often view organized, well-maintained households as lower-risk clients. Think about the role of energy efficiency in financial planning. After date, when you're not holding on to energy-draining appliances and electronics, your utility bills become more predictable and manageable. This predictability makes budgeting more accurate and effective. The connection to emergency fund management becomes clearer after date. When you're not tying up resources in expired or outdated items, you can maintain a more liquid and accessible emergency fund. This financial buffer becomes crucial during unexpected challenges. Consider the impact on your shopping habits after date. When you have a clear inventory of what you own and what you need, you're less likely to make duplicate purchases or buy items you don't actually need. This mindful consumption can lead to significant savings over time. The role of documentation financial planning takes on new importance after date. Proper organization of warranties, receipts, and maintenance records can help you maximize the value of your purchase and prevent unnecessary replacement costs. Think about the connection between physical clutter and financial stress. After date, a well-organized living space can reduce anxiety and improve decision-making capability, leading to better financial choices and opportunities. The impact on your ability to generate passive income becomes more apparent after date. When you're not managing unnecessary items, you can focus on creating systems and investment that generate income without active involvement. This shift from managing things to managing money can be transformative. Consider the role of seasonal financial planning after date. Regular audits of these 7 categories can align with other financial activities like tax preparation, investment rebalancing, and insurance renewal, creating a more comprehensive approach to wealth management. The connection to real estate opportunity becomes clearer after date. Whether you're renting or owning, proper organization of these 7 categories can affect your ability to maximize your living space's value. This can translate into better rental income or higher property value. Think about the impact on your daily productivity after date. When you're not constantly managing expired items and outdated possessions, you can focus more energy on income-generating activity and professional development. The role of financial education takes on new meaning after date. The process of organizing and managing these 7 categories can serve as practical lessons in value assessment, depreciation, and resource management. These skills often translate into better overall financial literacy. Consider the connection to wealth preservation after date. Proper organization and management of these categories can help prevent unnecessary losses and expenses, which is just as important as generating new income in building long-term wealth. The impact on your ability to leverage technology becomes more significant after date. When your physical space is well organized, you can more effectively implement digital tools and systems for financial management and wealth building. Think about the role of social capital in financial success after date. A well-organized living space often leads to stronger social connection and networking opportunities, which can translate into valuable financial opportunities and resources. The connection to health and wellness costs becomes clearer after date. Proper management of expired medications and health-related items can prevent unnecessary medical expenses and ensure more effective health management. Consider the impact on your ability to scale your financial success after date. When you have systems in place for managing these 7 categories, you can more easily replicate successful financial strategies and expand your wealth-building effort. The role of financial automation becomes more important after date. An organized approach to these 7 categories makes it easier to implement and maintain automated systems for bills, savings, and investments, reducing the risk of costly oversight. Think about the connection to long-term financial planning after date. When you're not constantly dealing with clutter and disorganization, you can focus more energy on retirement planning and legacy building. The connection to wealth building strategy becomes more apparent after date. When you're not weighed down by these 7 categories of item, you can focus more energy on active income generation and investment opportunity. This shift in focus can be transformative for your financial future. Consider how proper organization affects your ability to take advantage of time-sensitive financial opportunity. After date, when you're not sorting through expired item or dealing with cluttered space, you can respond more quickly to investment opportunity, limited time offer, or emergent situations that require immediate financial. The impact on your credit report might be subtle, significant. After date, proper organization of financial documents makes it easier to spot dispute errors on your credit prompt. Given that an estimated 20% of credit reports contain errors, this vigilance can protect your borrowing power and save thousands in interest charges. Think about the relationship between physical organization and debt management. After date, when you have a clear system for managing these 7 categories, you're more likely to maintain an organized approach to debt repayment. This systematic approach often leads to faster debt reduction and lower interest payment. The role of digital security becomes increasingly important after date. When you're not holding on to old electronics and outdated financial documents, you reduce your exposure to identity theft and fraud. The financial impact of a security breach can be devastating, making prevention through proper organization crucial. Consider the connection to professional networking. After date, a well-organized living space often translates to better personal presentation and increased confidence in professional setting. This can lead to better job opportunities and higher earning potential. The impact on your insurance costs extends beyond home. After date, proper organization and maintenance of these 7 categories can affect various insurance premiums, from renter's insurance to life insurance. Insurance companies often view organized, well-maintained households as lower-risk clients. Think about the role of energy efficient in financial planning. After date, when you're not holding on to energy-draining appliances and electronics, your utility bills become more predictable and manageable. This predictability makes budgeting more accurate and effective. The connection to emergency fund management becomes clearer after date. When you're not tying up resources in expired or outdated items, you can maintain a more liquid and accessible emergency fund. This financial buffer becomes crucial during unexpected challenges. Consider the impact on your shopping habits after date. When you have a clear inventory of what you own and what you need, you're less likely to make duplicate purchases or buy items you don't actually need. This mindful consumption can lead to significant savings over time. The role of documentation in financial planning takes on new importance after date. Proper organization of warranties, receipts, and maintenance records can help you maximize the value of your purchase and prevent unnecessary replacement costs. Think about the connection between physical clutter and financial stress. After date, a well-organized living space can reduce anxiety and improve decision-making capability, leading to better financial choices and opportunities. The impact on your ability to generate passive income becomes more apparent after date. When you're not managing unnecessary items, you can focus on creating systems and investment that generate income without active involvement. This shift from managing things to managing money can be transformative. Consider the role of seasonal financial planning after date. Regular audits of these 7 categories can align with other financial activities like tax preparation, investment rebalance, and insurance renewals, creating a more comprehensive approach to wealth management. The connection to real estate opportunity becomes clearer after date. Whether you're renting or owning, proper organization of these 7 categories can affect your ability to maximize your living space's value. This can translate into better rental income or higher property values. Think about the impact on your daily productivity after date. When you're not constantly managing expired items and outdated possessions, you can focus more energy on income-generating activity and professional development. The role of financial education takes on new meaning after date. The process of organizing and managing these 7 categories can serve as practical lessons in value assessment, depreciation, and resource management. These skills often translate into better overall financial literacy. Consider the connection to wealth preservation after date. Proper organization and management of these categories can help prevent unnecessary losses and expense, which is just as important as generating new income in building long-term wealth. The impact on your ability to leverage technology becomes more significant after date. When your physical space is well organized, you can more effectively implement digitals and systems for financial management and wealth building. Think about the role of social capital in financial success after date. A well-organized living space often leads to stronger social connections and networking opportunity, which can translate into valuable financial opportunities and resources. The connection to health and wellness costs becomes clearer after date. Proper management of expired medications and health-related items can prevent unnecessary medical expenses and ensure more effective health management. Consider the impact on your ability to scale your financial success after date. When you have systems in place for managing these 7 categories, you can more easily replicate successful financial strategies and expand your wealth-building efforts. The role of financial automation becomes more important after date. An organized approach to 7 categories makes it easier to implement and maintain automated systems for bills, savings, and investment, reducing the risk of costly oversight. Think about the connection to long-term financial planning after date. When you're not constantly dealing with clutter and disorganization, you can focus more energy on retirement planning and legacy building. The relationship between physical organization and investment strategy becomes more evident after date. When your living space isn't cluttered with these 7 categories of items, you have more mental bandwidth to focus on market analysis and investment opportunity. This clarity can lead to better informed investment decisions and potentially higher returns. Consider the impact on your ability to negotiate financial matters after date. When you're organized and prepared, you're in a stronger position to negotiate everything from salary increase to interest rates. This negotiating power can significantly impact your long-term financial health. The role of financial boundaries takes on new significance after date. Proper management of these 7 categories often translates into better boundary setting in financial relations, whether with family members, business partner, or financial. Think about the connection to financial mentorship opportunities after date. When you demonstrate strong organizational skills and financial awareness through proper management of these categories, you're more likely to attract potential mentors who can guide your wealth-building journey. The impact on your ability to create multiple income streams becomes clearer after date. When you're not bogged down by managing expired or outdated items, you can dedicate more time and energy to developing diverse revenue sources, reducing your financial vulnerability. Consider the relationship between organization and financial innovation after date. A clutter-free environment often leads to clearer thinking and creative problem solving, which can help you identify unique opportunities for wealth creation. The role of financial timing becomes more manageable after date. When you're not distracted by these 7 categories of items, you can better recognize and act on time-sensitive financial opportunity, from investment option to limited time offered. Think about the impact on your ability to build and maintain emergency preparation after date. Proper organization of these categories often correlates with better emergency planning, which can prevent financial disasters during unexpected events. The connection to wealth acceleration becomes more apparent after date. When you're efficiently managing these 7 categories, you can focus on exponential growth strategy rather than linear savings approach. Consider the role of financial leverage after date. An organized approach to these categories often translates into better understanding and use of financial leverage tools, from credit to investment opportunity. The impact on your ability to maintain financial privacy becomes significant after date. Proper management of documents and digital information helps protect your financial information from unauthorized access or theft. Think about the connection to estate planning after date. When these 7 categories are properly managed, it becomes easier to plan and execute long-term wealth transfer strategy for future generations. The role of financial resilience takes on new meaning after date. An organized approach to these categories often correlates with better ability to weather financial storms and maintain stability during economic downturn. Consider the impact on your ability to spot financial trends after date. When you're not distracted by managing unnecessary items, you can better recognize and capitalize on emerging financial opportunities. The connection to sustainable wealth creation becomes clearer after date. Proper management of these categories often aligns with sustainable financial practices that can generate long-term wealth without depleting resources. Think about the role of financial adaptation after date. When you're organized and efficient in managing these categories, you can more quickly adjust to changing economic conditions and market opportunity. The impact on your ability to leverage technology for wealth building becomes more significant after date. A well-organized physical space often translates into better implementation of digital financial tools and platforms. Consider the connection to financial community building after date. When you demonstrate strong organizational skills in managing these categories, you're more likely to attract like-minded individuals for wealth-building partnerships. The role of financial documentation takes on new importance after date. Proper organization of these categories makes it easier to track your financial progress and make data-driven decisions about wealth building. Think about the impact on your ability to maintain financial focus after date. When you're not constantly dealing with expired items and cluttered spaces, you can concentrate on long-term wealth-building strategies rather than short-term fixes. The connection to financial optimization becomes more apparent after date. An organized approach to these categories often leads to better identification and elimination of unnecessary expense and inefficiency. Consider the role of financial scaling after date. When you have systems in place for managing these categories, you can more easily expand your wealth building effort without becoming overwhelmed by detail. The impact on your ability to maintain financial consistency becomes clearer after date. Proper organization of these categories often correlates with better habit formation and maintenance of wealth-building routine. Think about the connection to financial innovation after date. When you're not bogged down by managing unnecessary items, you can focus on developing creative solutions for wealth generation and preservation. The relationship between physical decluttering and financial clarity becomes more pronounced after date. When you've eliminated these 7 categories of unnecessary items, you often discover hidden costs and inefficiencies that were previously obscured by clutter. This newfound clarity can lead to breakthrough financial insights. Consider the impact on your ability to create financial after date. When you're not constantly managing expired items and outdated possessions, you can develop more sophisticated approaches to wealth building, from automated investment strategies to passive income stream. The role of financial agility takes on new significance after date. Proper management of these 7 categories often correlates with increased flexibility in responding to market opportunity and economic changes. This adaptability can be crucial for wealth accumulation in volatile markets. Think about the connection to wealth preservation strategies after date. When your space is organized and efficient, you're better positioned to protect and maintain your accumulated wealth through proper documentation, insurance, and risk management. The impact on your ability to leverage financial technology becomes more apparent after date. A clutter-free environment often leads to better implementation of fintech solutions, from budgeting apps to investment platforms, maximizing their potential for wealth building. Consider the relationship between organization and financial networking after date. When you demonstrate strong organizational skills through proper management of these categories, you're more likely to attract valuable financial partners and opportunity. The role of financial documentation becomes increasingly important after date. Proper organization of these 7 categories makes it easier to maintain accurate records for tax purposes, investment tracking, and wealth management strategy. Think about the impact on your ability to identify financial patterns after date. When you're not distracted by managing unnecessary items, you can better recognize trends and cycles in your financial life, leading to more informed decision-making. The connection to wealth acceleration strategies becomes clearer after date. An organized approach to these categories often correlates with better identification and implementation of opportunities for exponential financial growth. Consider the role of financial automation after date. When you have systems in place for managing these 7 categories, you can more effectively automate your wealth-building processes. From bill payments to investment contribution, the impact on your ability to maintain financial discipline becomes more significant after date. Proper organization of these categories often translates into stronger self-control in other areas of financial management. Think about the connection to real estate optimization after date. When you're not storing unnecessary items, you can better utilize your living space for income generation or value appreciation. The role of financial education takes on new meaning after date. Managing these 7 categories effectively often leads to better understanding of value, depreciation, and resource allocation, crucial skills for wealth building. Consider the impact on your ability to scale financial success after date. When you have efficient systems for managing these categories, you can more easily replicate successful strategies across different aspects of your financial life. The connection to wealth preservation becomes more apparent after date. Proper organization of these categories often correlates with better risk management and protection of accumulated wealth. Think about the role of financial timing after date. When you're not bogged down by managing unnecessary items, you can better recognize and act on time-sensitive opportunities for wealth creation. The impact on your ability to leverage social capital becomes clearer after date. A well-organized living space often leads to stronger professional networks and financial partnerships, crucial for wealth building. Consider the relationship between organization and financial innovation after date. When you're efficiently managing these 7 categories, you're better positioned to identify and implement creative solutions for wealth generation. The role of financial boundary becomes more significant after date. Proper management of these categories often translates into better boundary setting in financial relationships and partnerships. Think about the connection to sustainable wealth creation after date. When you have systems in place for managing these categories, you can focus on creating lasting financial success rather than temporary gain. The impact on your ability to maintain financial privacy becomes more important after date. Proper organization of these categories helps protect your financial information and assets from unauthorized access or theft. Consider the role of financial resilience after date. An organized approach to these 7 categories often correlates with better ability to weather economic downturn and maintain financial stability. The connection to wealth transfer strategy becomes clearer after date. When you're efficiently managing these categories, you can better plan and execute strategies for preserving wealth across generations. Think about the impact on your ability to optimize tax strategies after date. Proper organization of these categories often leads to better identification and utilization of tax advantages and opportunity. The role of financial adaptation becomes more significant after date. When you have systems in place for managing these categories, you can more quickly adjust to changing economic conditions and market opportunity. The journey to financial prosperity is often found in the details of how we manage our daily lives and possessions. After date, the management of these 7 categories becomes more than just an organizational task. It becomes a foundation for building lasting wealth and financial security. Looking ahead, the importance of maintaining this organizational system becomes even more crucial. As financial markets evolve and technology advances, the ability to quickly adapt and respond to opportunities will increasingly depend on having an organized, efficient living space, free from these wealth-draining items. The real power lies not just in eliminating these items after date, but in the mindset shift that comes with it. This transition from holding on to expired, outdated items to maintaining an efficient, wealth-supporting environment represents a fundamental change in how we approach our financial future. Remember, avoiding poverty isn't just about making more money. It's about managing what we have more effective. After date, each decision to properly manage these 7 categories of item becomes a step toward greater financial security and prosperity. The impact of these changes extends far beyond our current financial situation. By implementing these organizational practices after date, we're not just protecting ourselves from poverty, we're creating a foundation for generational wealth and financial success that can benefit our families for years to come. Make date your turning point. Let it be the day you commit to not just organizing your space, but transforming your financial future. The journey to financial prosperity begins with these small but significant changes in how we manage our daily environment. The path forward is clear. After date, take control of these 7 categories of item and watch as your financial landscape transforms from one of potential scarcity to one of abundant opportunity. Your future self will thank you for the wisdom of taking action today.